by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.
I'm sick of this stuff. We have to talk about it because the American people think the reason for inflation is government spending more money. Simply not true.
Imagine a future. The freight trucks that deliver bread and milk to our grocery store shelves, and the buses that take children to school and parents to work. Imagine all the heavy-duty vehicles that keep our supply lines strong and allow our economy to grow. Imagine that they produced zero emissions. Well, you all imagined it. That's why we're here today. Because we have the ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been, and then to make the possible actually happen.
For the rest of us that aren't Ukrainians, I think the world, quite frankly, Kira, is surprised by the will of the Ukrainian people to stand up and fight. Are you?
Well, I'm not surprised. We have been fighting Putin for the last 8 years, and we had 3 revolutions in our country when we did not agree with what was going on with the direction of where we're moving in. But right now, it's a critical time because we know that we not only fight for Ukraine, we fight for this new world order for the democratic countries. We knew that we are the shield.
Look, we're going to use the at least 59 people killed, at least 149 people wounded. Those numbers are going to go up. There's just no question about that. I mean, you have fierce fighting in a number of locations around the country. You mentioned Chernobyl. Russian forces quickly overtaking that area. We understand they are still in control. The other thing that went down today that was of huge importance was Russian
refuse to go along with this, and I'm seeing through all of your lies, Barack Obama, you wicked, wicked devil!
Oh my god!
There you go. How was that for an opening?
Oh man, dude, that image from the German protest where they put the voice over it and changed the chevron at the bottom or whatever. That's so funny. Yeah, man, it's so funny. They got a lot of people with that one. They got a lot of people with that one. Pretty funny.
So yeah, that was good. Welcome back to another night of Shtick with Koolfrogg. I know there's very few nights that were available this week. I do work the next 3 nights, so then not a show going to happen the next 3 days. It's going to be an interesting weekend. All that being said, there was a couple things that had happened in the last few days that had to do with, $1.5 trillion that just so happened to be spent. And it was pushed through very quick, very fast. It's like, House passed it in the morning, Senate passed it at night, and the president immediately signed it. So it was like, it's done. And it was like, holy man. The Senate took a little while for them to actually get the wording on it because they took some certain things out that they didn't want in there, which is fine for what they actually got. There was an awful lot that was in there, though. Before we go too far, we do have America Shirts and we do have Grimsbar with us today.
Hello. How you doing, America?
America Shirts, how you doing, buddy?
America. Oh, he's dead. All right, just like the rest of the country.
Okay, he's here.
Oh, it's still got a heartbeat?
He is here. Are you here?
Yo.
What's
up?
What's up?
Oh, I'll tell you what's up. My Rumble video has 10 more views until it reaches 400 lovely views on the Rumble. So
ooh.
Everybody should go check out AmericaShirtsAreFirst.com and go check out.
And I still am going to do an updated video with update. Well, not updated, but like, well, I guess it is updated. But like, I'm not changing my previous one. I'm just like adding to the topic with another one. So I'm going to be doing another one on that topic at some point still here. I still plan on
Maybe
doing
I
that.
should go
But,
watch it.
Oh yeah. And I was thinking about putting up a certain film as well by Oliver Stone. Actually, there's two by Oliver Stone on this particular issue that I make videos about pertaining to Russia versus Ukraine. They've been wiped clean from the tubes on YouTube because, truth is not allowed. So, anyways, but I was thinking about doing that as well, throwing those up there. Other people have that as well, but I just thought, hey, I'd just be another place where people could,
Yeah, absolutely.
watch
Absolutely.
those So yeah, like I said, I'm not the only place, but it'd be nice to just have something else to for people to be able to search and look it up and just pull it up. But yeah, so that's what's up.
And the Grimsbot. I seen you on another show tonight. How'd that go for you? Grimsbot?
Oh, what's that? Sorry,
We
man.
lost the
I
Grimsbot.
started editing this Kamala video that we were talking about before the show in the green room, and now I'm like laughing and have myself muted. I'm so sorry. What's that? Go back. What were you
Oh,
saying?
we were just trying to introduce you. That you say, yeah. How was your night? How's it been going today?
Oh, not too bad. I went on the experts channel. We talked for about 2 hours and 40 minutes. That was freaking great. We got something planned for next week, which is pretty cool. If you want to catch that, we're going to be streaming it to both the expert and my channels. So if you would like to see that, it's going to get kind of crazy. This dude, like, conversation just goes. Who knows where the hell it's going to go? I don't even know where it's going to go. Right? It's just that kind of dynamic. But if you want
Sounds
to check
like
it
a
out,
good
please
time.
follow the link in the description. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell. And then that way you can get in on that conversation because it's I'm looking forward to it, and it's definitely something you're going to want to see.
And
That's
speaking
how
of ringing the bell, hitting share buttons, hitting like buttons, sharing everything out to all your friends. You should do that for all of us. When you hit up our stuff, you hit up Grimm's Bar, you hit up America Shirts, you even hit up Jimmy YouTube. Any of these guys, the expert. The expert's fun. And usually in this chat on a regular basis. You should always hit the like buttons for all of us. Share all our content out. We all like to have some fun together, and I'm hoping eventually. I think next week I have 4 days in a row that I can actually do some stuff. Maybe we can actually set up a game night again or something or other. Conversations are usually kind of interesting. All of that being said, we did have some stuff that we were going to scroll through here today. A couple articles pertain to this $1.5 trillion omnibus appropriation bill. And this bill is just massively huge. I started reading through it. There's way too much in there for anybody to think that they're just going to go and skim through it and just be like, pick up, the best points.
There's some light reading, like before you go to bed, you just like pull off. You're like, hold on, honey, let me break out the document.
2,000.
Yeah.
700 pages. This document's fat.
And I mean, it's not like, Operation Lockstep, the white papers, or like the Kissinger plan of a depopulation. What? Anyway, it's not that interesting. Anyway, who? I don't know. Who's that?
It'd be fun to see what the Congress's freaking that bill would be like if it was if it was translated and put onto cuneiform tablets. Just how fucking massive it would be. like an actual like ancient document. Like, okay, let's do this, right?
So, um, this article come off of roll call. This is House passes overdue $1.5 trillion omnibus appropriations bill. Massive package heads to Senate without COVID-19 response funds. Um, it's very interesting that that's pretty much there wasn't much that they took out of this bill before they passed it on. Um, the interesting is verbiage is has to be exactly the same. So if one or the other takes something and changes it because they don't like it, um, they have to actually go back through everything. So I mean, this bill could have not been pushed through so quickly, but it was just rammed straight through, like as fast as they possibly could. They shoved this huge bill through. So then, article says the House on Wednesday passed a fiscal 2022 omnibus spending package as well as a 4-day stopgap measure extending current funding levels through March 15th to ensure that no lapse in appropriations while the Senate works to get the large measure to President Joe Biden's desk. But the passage on the omnibus, filed in the wee hours of Wednesday morning and the 5 months after the fiscal year began, did not come without drama. Democratic leaders had to send the bill back to the Rules Committee Wednesday evening to strip $15.6 billion in funding for immediate COVID-19 needs and move that to the standalone bill, which ultimately was delayed until next week. So pretty much all they did is they took the COVID stuff out of it and said, no, we'll just shove this to the side for now. Because they'll figure out how to get that on another bill somewhere. They're good at putting stuff on bills, stripping things out of them and putting other things in place, and then creating other bills to go along with all that. That measure excludes a $7 billion recession of the state and local funds that some Democrats objected to in the omnibus, leaving nearly half the emergency spending unpaid for. The sprawling 2,741-page omnibus would appropriate $1.5 trillion in discretionary spending across 12 annual bills and $13.6 billion in emergency spending to address the crisis in Ukraine. It also carries a hodgepodge of unrelated bills that lawmakers are eager to advance and must pass vehicle. So this bill is just ridiculously huge. This bipartisan agreement will help us address many of the major challenges we face at home and abroad, says Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer.
Is that really that serious? Yeah.
Yeah, they both said the same thing.
That changes we face at home and abroad.
Are you picking on me?
No, this is Nancy. She actually talk like this.
Are you rubbing your knuckles together as you speak like that?
Yes.
Being sure. Just being sure that you actually really get into that. Okay.
Don't fall out of your chair, bud.
I so gilly. For soldiers getting sick. Getting sick on the battlefield.
So how does it feel, Kamala? How does it feel to be beat out by a guy with one eye on your stock trades?
Well, when you look at Hungary on a map, and you see Romania
I need
and
that for
Oh
Belarus,
man,
I
and
need the hungry.
it's a really big situation.
oh, do we have? So since we sanctioned Russia and they make 38% of the, all right, Nancy. Here's the next question: since we sanctioned Russia and they export 38% of the world's wheat, do we have a problem with the Hungry Empire taking over?
I mean, we have a free market. We need free market. We just can't. I mean, it's we have free markets for a reason. Right? Right? We have a free. You know.
Oh man, I'm freaking. I can't even breathe right now. My face hurts so bad. I'm laughing. My face. I'm just smiling. So
So this article continues.
Well, we have the Bill Black Burr and Privileged Scrub. Um, don't want any bathing exercises being involved
People
here.
just throw this script right out of here. I don't need this. We'll just listen to
Well,
Nancy.
when the House passes the Senate,
So, Nancy, how do you feel about
yes.
this $1.5 trillion bill? Did you have a lot to do with it? What are you getting out of it?
Lots of ice cream, lots of vodka.
screw it. I'm shoving the pressure. Somebody say ice cream. My favorite's vanilla. Oh, my favorite Afghanistan man. Yes. Look, we need to go shut down Puddin's taking up all the olive oil and Badafacare, uh, the, the the chickens, the dinners.
So, Nancy, I'm going to read a couple paragraphs of this article that I was reading to you. I want your opinion. So it says both parties comprised of their spending preferences in agreement, which provides 782 billion in defense-related accounts and 730 billion in non-defense. Democrats secured a 46 billion to 6.7% increase in non-defense spending over last year's level, a significant boost, but less than half of what they initially proposed. Republicans negotiated a larger defense increase in the most Democrats preferred of 42 billion to 5.6% over last year. But they still feel short of perfect parity between the defense and non-defense increases. The House used a process known as dividing the question to hold two votes on an omnibus, but the separately passed pieces will be rejoined in a single package before the measure is enrolled and sent to the Senate. Now, why would they do that?
It's like me and Big Mike. We came together in the end.
Yes, it's very bipartisan. And we all know how we absolutely love bipartisanship.
Some of
We
us like
love.
vanilla ice cream, and other people go and they like chocolate ice cream. But it's fine as long as we can agree on strawberry, but we can't mix the vanilla and the chocolate ice cream.
And of course, we can't have any of those bathing exercises involved. Um,
Fruit I'm a shamana. Two of them were athletes, and one of them looks like he'd bomb you.
But you didn't answer my question, Nancy. Dividing the question, why would somebody need to do that?
but bipartisanship, of course. We love bipartisanship.
Nancy,
It's
come
bipartisan.
on.
Come on, man. Come on. Look, all right. Corn pop was a
It's a
bad.
free market. We have a free market. I don't
Look here, fat.
understand this. What do you? It's free. It's just it's a free, but market. Uh,
Okay, fine. Okay, Nancy, fine. Okay, I get you. It's a free
Look here,
market.
fat. It's a free
Let's
market.
move. Let's move on. Let's see if we can get another better question for you. So, One Piece, which lawmakers backed a 260 to 171 vote, included a vast majority of the non-defense spending bills, the non-defense related funding for the Ukraine crisis, and most of the unrelated bills' leadership attached to the Omnibus, given its must-pass status. That includes reauthorizations of the Violence Against Women's Act, the National Flood Insurance Program, temporary assistance of needy families, a livestock reporting program, and more. Why is all of this needed? What do you need all this for?
Look, all I'm saying is this bill smells nice.
It smells nice.
All
I
right.
can't smell anything.
Shut up, Nancy. Oh my god, I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't.
It smells just awful. It smells like vodka in here. Did someone break the glass?
Okay, so just to keep it moving
I'm
here.
gonna pressure.
So then other measures riding on the spending package include
I'm gonna back up
legislation
here.
to increase reporting of cyber attacks on critical infrastructure, a provision allowing regulation of synthetic nicotine manufacturers, language intended to boost the Federal Trade Commission's ability to crack down on attempts to defraud seniors in various health provisions, like an extension of higher Medicaid reimbursements for U.S. territories. The other votes included the three appropriations bills progressive Democrats often oppose: defense, commerce, justice, science, and homeland security. The second piece also included the defense portions of the Ukraine supplemental, the annual intelligence authorization, and a section intended to promote the U.S. Israel relationship and back regional peace initiatives such as the Abraham Accords brokered by the Trump administration. So now you're okay with certain things coming out of the Trump administration? I thought you hated everything that had anything to do with Trump. What up, Nancy?
I, well, I mean, when you take, you go,
You know what, Nancy? I'm sick of your
you say,
TDS. I'm just saying, your TDS is beyond limits.
But the returns, man. But the returns.
That defense and security related pieces won approval and 361 to 69 vote, with more Republican support providing a wider margin than the non-defense portion. So I mean, I guess. So then, they created this little stopgap through Tuesday. So I mean, they keep on extending certain things. Understand what the issue is with the
but
stopgap.
most Americans support our moves here in the House. Most Americans support everything that we're trying to do. We are just representing the 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 American people. You see,
I'm glad that you can actually sound like Nancy. You actually sounds like you have the loose dentures in your mouth. It's great.
it's, but if we do not represent the American people who who is going to get these things passed, but bipartisanly, of course, bipartisanly. We love our Republican fellow congressmen and women and women. I, yes, yes,
If you
women.
don't vote,
I'm a woman too. You know, just I, yes. Anyway, um, you, I, you weren't saying anything, or you were.
if you don't vote yes, then you ain't jack.
Oh my god.
We have to work
Just
together.
freaking record myself.
We have to work together to get these things passed.
Go get him, America. Go get him.
Yes,
So,
yes,
Nancy,
yes. That's right.
I'm going to actually find a good clip of you, and I'm going to put it at the beginning of my shows, just because it's you, Nancy.
It is me. Yeah,
I
there's only
really
one.
enjoy having you
There's
here for the
only
conversation.
one me in the world. At least that I
So
know
I
of.
want you to listen to me really closely, you old hag. Just hear me out. Whenever you decide to exit the room and allow the wonderful America shirts back in, you just let me know.
Oh, we
Okay.
we put him in the freezer with the ice cream. Maybe
You
he'll
put
he'll
them
do the
next to the ice
popsicle
cream,
next.
or
Are
did you
we
cut
getting
them up and put them
speckles?
in the ice cream?
Speckles on our ice cream?
No, right? We drink blood. What?
Do you like sprinkles on your ice cream?
Vodka, lots of vodka.
When I was
You
a
know,
kid, I would get the speckles, and the kids would pick them out of my leg hair.
and sometimes you dip the ice cream bar into vodka. It gives it this wonderful tangy taste. It's
So
really.
instead of an umbrella, you replace it with an ice cream bar.
I've never had an umbrella.
What about the
What?
umbrella agreement you decided to to accept between America and Ukraine?
It's a free market. We have to have and protect our free market. Build back better and privilege scrub.
Brokeback Biden.
Okay, so yeah, is to go is let's move on this conversation about the stopgap thing. So even with the stopgap as a cushion, Senate leaders want to pass the omnibus before week's end. So when they actually wrote this bill up, they actually you actually intended to not have it pass immediately, and it was going to be by the end of the week that things were going to happen. Now, both the House and the Senate both don't reconvene until the 14th, I believe. So, or the 14th, is that right? Yeah, the 14th would be Monday. So, being that neither one of you are there until Monday, how would it have been that you would have had it done by week's end off of what this was actually stating? You really just assumed that you were going to actually push this bill through that quick. With all that money that's going to everything. I really don't like you, Nancy. You're really pushing my buttons tonight. The measure would provide a $10.6 billion for the Department of Health and Human Services to continue procuring therapeutics and other things, including development of certain things for future variants. Another $5 billion is for the State Department to increase the contributions of the global initiative and provide other pandemic-related humanitarian assistance to vulnerable populations. So you added another $5 billion to that. Who's getting the money out of this?
Well, we sent this over to, you know, the Senate because, I kind of the whole point of, what we do is, like, send it over. We added the Senate to the bill, because Bernie doesn't like hearings. Well, no, Bernie loves hearings. Manchin doesn't love hearings, but if we, if we if we add
Nancy, you really call Joe Manchin by his last name? Come on, Nancy. You know him better than that.
Well, it's Bernie doesn't like hearings. Manchin doesn't like hearings. I keep, it's just two congressmen. I just, it's just, I just can't, I just get them confused. It's just. But I mean, I figured since they're putting things in, we can like throw things in too, and like then we put it we put it in the bill, and then we send it.
So, according to Shalonda Young, who's the acting Office of Management and Budget Director, she said that the $15.6 billion only covers immediate needs. Additional resources will be needed soon to ensure that we have enough treatments and other things for the American people to prepare them for future variants. Are we what are we doing that we know that there's going to be potential future variants? Is Bill around? Can we ask him? Maybe he knows. Okay.
Do I?
Thanks.
Sorry, I'm editing. What's up?
I was asking Nancy a question.
Oh, Nancy.
Nancy.
It's bird back privilege shrub. So when we pass something in the house, pass a bill in the house.
My question was,
after you see it,
you need additional resources
in its aggregate
in the
form.
future. The American people to prepare them for future variants. What are we doing that we know for sure that there's going to be future variants?
Well, you see, I had a very long conversation with Dr. Fauci, and he assured me that there would be no more of those things. Allegedly, I said, that when you look at viruses, okay, and you see their potentials to spread, it's very bad. It's very bad. We have to do something about this, and Americans support uh, this this type of 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 rule making that we do.
Nancy, nothing that you've said has been a complete sentence that makes any sense at all. Everything that you said just completely made everybody so much more stupid than they already were. Why are you doing this to us?
Well, but we want to be sure that what we send to the Senate is not burnable. So we want to build back better and privilege scrub. Because I mean, there's no real bad answer to any of these measures. It's really no bad answer.
So I'm going to ask you another question here, Nancy. I'm gonna reference it off of this next paragraph. As the Republicans have repeatedly demanded the administration provide a full accounting, in quotes, of what has already been spent on the pandemic before they would support new funding. They reluctantly agreed to the 15.6 billion because of the offset with 15.7 billion rescissions of prior relief money, including the 7 billion of state and local aid that was removed as offset in the standalone bill. Why won't we? Why won't you give a full account of everything that has been spent? Is there something wrong with that?
I think I said about the free markets. We have to protect our free and fair elections and markets. Yeah, and we have to protect all of our our free markets. Um, I, there's no wrong answer to that. I don't think.
So, despite
I mean, unless you
aid
don't
hiccups,
believe
Democrats still
in
voted
free
overwhelmingly
markets.
for this non-defense portion of the omnibus. Why would they want this so much? What's in this that they really seriously want to get their hands on?
Well, I mean, we have to pass the bill before we know what's in it. Um, yes, that's, I mean, that's what it's, you know.
So, in quotes, this omnibus will increase funding for key domestic priorities, including a $400 increase to the maximum Pell Grant award, the establishment of President Biden's new cancer research initiative known as ARPA-H, and so much more. Pelosi and Schumer said in their statement, and acting. This is what you said. You said this. Were
I
these
can't.
your words?
I can't remember. I promise. Me and Charles we go out occasionally to the bar. Um, you know, to podium bars, or and we make speeches and say talking engagements were involved there. Um,
So then it continues this, and enacting the omnibus unlocks more federal funding under our bipartisan infrastructure law, bringing transformational investments to roads, bridges, transit, water systems, airports, broadband, and more across America. Was
we have to have our infrastructure, our roads and bridges and cars and street lights, all those things. We have to have those things to make things work. If we all have
you need streetlights to
those,
make things work? Really, Nancy? Come on.
all those things,
Do
they
you
need
think people
money.
use streetlights anymore?
Um, yeah. How else do you see going to the DC bar every night? How do you see? I don't. It's a private bar. They sell vodka, and they give out a drink club. Um,
So, check this out. So it says the local project funding meets urgent needs in districts across the country and sends a clear message to the American people that Congress is working for them. Says Rosa DeLauro. You, you good friends with Rosa, Nancy?
who
Rosa DeLauro, the Democrat out of Connecticut,
the the
the
the
House
Lau- the the,
Appropriations
Lau- the
Chair.
Lawrence. I
Rosa
can't.
DeLauro.
I just I this is this I just I don't see
Oh,
I
okay.
don't see the reasoning for your question. I think we've
Omnibus
answered.
includes more
I
than.
think we've answered this question
Okay,
from you
let's
multiple occasions.
okay. Let's move on. Let's move on. The omnibus includes more than 4.2 billion in earmarks for House lawmakers, with nearly 60% of that funding directed for projects in Democrats' districts. Oh, isn't that kind of interesting how that money just so happens to be directed in a certain way? Oh, it goes on. It says Republicans submitted fewer project requests than Democrats, although many for larger amounts, since many of their party opposed earmarks and abstained from participating. This resulted in a lopsided 74% of the total of 2,727 House requested projects funded going to Democrats. That's an awful lot of projects, Nancy. 2,727 projects? What are you working on? What's coming? What's coming? What's coming in the future here for us? Anything good for the people?
I'm working on my ice cream stockpile in my freezer. Um, I have lots of I got chocolate ones, the chocolate ones on the stick. They're really good. Um, I have the tubs of the caramel swirl ones. They're very delicious, actually. My several brown grandchildren love those. Um, I have a raspberry, blackberry on mine as well as on this one. Just all kinds of things in here.
So then, quote, for defense and bill provides our military and our troops with resources they desperately need, says Kay Granger, Republican in Texas. The GOP also took pride in touting the victory in the months-long battle to keep new partisan riders out of the omnibus while retaining legacy riders that benefit their party, like the Hyde Amendment that bars federal funding for abortion in most cases. How do you feel about that, Nancy?
Abortions are a human right. The Supreme Court already ruled on this. It's a fundamental right to be allowed to sacrifice your child to Satan. I mean, to kill, to abort a pregnancy, to
Well,
have
Harold Rogers out
abortions,
of Kentucky says
have
there's
abortions,
at no time should
just
U.S. taxpayer
abortions.
dollars be
You
used
see,
to kill the unborn. Do you disagree with him?
as, 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 as women have the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies. And last time I checked, you weren't a woman. So I mean, not that I've like checked, but I mean, I think we can assume. I think we can assume, right? Say say just as a woman. I said, because I mean, you probably vote Republican, and so you can't be a can't be a woman. But women have the right to choose what they want to do with their bodies. That's just it. They have the right to choose. And it's none of our places to tell them no to that. So, oh, that's a good picture. You get my, you got my Ukraine pin on the side of my lapel. That's a good picture. That's such a really good picture of me. It's probably not my best side, though.
So then, early in the morning is when that passed through the house. Early morning. That was your house, Nancy.
I, I can't remember. I guess we did. But we have to pass it to know what's in it.
And so then, by midday, 5:30 in the evening, and I don't know what you want to call 5:30. Some people call it dinner time. By dinner
It's
time,
vodka time for me. I have 3 extra shots.
Congress, nearly halfway
That's
through the
probably why I
fiscal year,
don't
has
remember.
passed a $1.5 trillion comprehensive spending deal for the rest of the fiscal 2022. So this omnibus spending bill is going to cover and keep us from having to default as the government and keep the government moving is basically what's going to happen then. Because there seems to be some fiscal issues.
God. I can't stand that freaking woman.
Did you get rid of her?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did.
The-
Unfortunately, not permanently though. But
it was wonderful actually having a conversation with her for the last 50 minutes. But yeah, she's starting to get on my nerves.
well, she does have responsibilities,
Yeah, I'm glad that she was able to join us.
I'm sure she was too.
Maybe she'll destroy our lives one more time.
Although next time, she probably be better for her to like put up her face in the avatar, so that way we know who we're talking to. But
It's
just a suggestion. But hey, I mean, God only knows.
Oh, so then I mean, not to extend this too much here, or whatever, because there's quite a bit of information that we can really go through on what's actually all in this bill. So the bill includes $730 billion in total non-defense funding. It provided $782 billion in defense funding. So I mean, they're just pushing money. Saying here, let's give some here, give some there. It's make sure everybody has some money. Make sure that the government can stay afloat through the rest of the year before they're forced to pass another exorbitant bill. That's just I don't know if we really even need to read this article. I mean, it says it's an 8-minute read. But we pretty much read through the majority of what was coming out of the House. Now, for a bill to become a bill, they have to actually pass the same verbiage through both the House and the Senate. So whatever the House had sent out, the Senate had agreed to, which is strange to me that actually happened as easily as it did, as I was watching, paying attention to the Senate all day until about 5:30 when I went and laid down. Now this article here says it was written at 5:29, which means something happened in the few minutes of me walking away from the computer and laying down. And they passed this to the Senate. So, for it to become a bill, they have to go through both. The verbiage, like I said, it has to be exact same for it to become a law, whatever, right? So, being that it passed through the House and the Senate, stop sharing that screen. And let's share this one. Here's the bill that they pushed through. All 2,741 pages of small line text that goes through everything that they actually pushed through on this bill. And like I said, I tried to read through some of it, and I'm like, holy man, this is something that you put in the back of the toilet. Eventually, just grab a piece of paper off the top and you read it. When you're done, you wipe your butt with it. You're like, all right, okay. And you come back the next time and you grab the next sheet and read it. And it just so much stuff and so many different places of pushing money. No, I don't know if you guys actually had the chance to actually look through any of this.
Not too much.
No, I didn't think you did. I'm just asking questions just so that if there's just not like a specific point that you wanted to go to. In everything that I read, there is nothing that would actually be like, oh my God, we need to actually hit on this one, or we need to hit on that one. It's just that there's such a huge amount of money that we're just able to actually just go and push out there and be like, here you go. Here's some money.
I mean, how many pages is this? This is 2,741 pages
Yeah, how
of
many
shit.
people, right, from early morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, when they actually pass it through the House, till 5:30 in the evening, when they pass it through the Senate, actually read every single line of this.
Oh, they never do. They never do. They just hand it off to all their staffers, and then their staffers who've been there forever. Some of them have been there forever. Some of them are just kind of newbies, and they just sit there and they just do whatever. And they've been there for 2 or 3 different congressional seats. Two or three different congressional people that have gone through there, congressmen. And it's the same staffers, even, throughout 3 different, whether they're Democrat or Republican. And it's just tell them, like, oh, yeah, like, this is in here, and this is in here, this is what this means, this is what this means. And they can't even go through all of it. They just kind of skim through it and then just kind of summarize it to the congressman or woman. And then, okay, we'll put thumbs up or thumbs down. And it's kind of basically what that is. Some of them are more diligent than others. Some of them really try to read everything and try to get everything. But most of the time, you just can't.
But, I mean, so...
especially in Omnibus, which shouldn't be...
If you actually look at the date that's actually on there, let's see if I can put that somewhere in the middle of the screen so everybody can see it. Look at that. 12:12 a.m. This bill has been in the works for more time than what we actually realize.
Yeah.
So
and the thing too you have to remember as well is that they're trying to shove in the Build Back Better into everything else, rather than having it as a separate sort of spending bill, right? Like they're trying to stick bits and pieces of this, and by bits and pieces I mean like 2/3, and they're like trying to throw it in. Right. They're breaking it apart and they're throwing it in other different things.
Right, and they're like, okay, so if we sneak this piece in over here, sneak that piece in over there, we'll be okay.
Right.
We'll be okay by the time this certain particular time 6 months. People will forget that we push this one through, and we'll push a different one through that will have some other verbiage that come off of the Build Back Better Act. The Build Back Better Act it was massively huge, and they didn't get what they wanted, so they're going to continue to do what they want to do to cheat us and be like, fine, eventually you're going to do it anyway. We'll just make it, we'll just sugarcoat it for you. I wish that, like I said, there's just so much in here. It's ridiculous. There's no way that I would be able to read the whole 2,741 pages live.
Oh, no one can. And that's why, Nancy Pelosi has said several times on several different bills.
Oh, shit, we're still going. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You missed Nancy Pelosi's exit, by the way. She left.
Oh.
Yeah, Nancy left.
Yeah,
Nancy she called up finally fell over drunk like she did at the fucking soda.
I mean, we won't go into specifics, but that may be true.
We didn't really read the Senate article. We just kind of looked at it for a second and said, well, obviously, by 5:30, 5:40, whatever, they had actually passed this bill that was pushed through the House at 9:30 in the morning. And for something to be passed through both and then turned into the president to be signed, they have to actually have the same verbiage. And now I have the actual bill up here, all 2,741 pages, that I'm not really reading because it's too much. There's no way that anybody can be expected to read any of this. I'd lose my voice by the time I'd be even halfway through it.
Yeah, your voice would be worse than Ozzy Osbourne.
Right?
It doesn't sound like this. Like, sound like Palpatine trying to breathe after he was shooting
Just
fire force electric at Mace Windu and it got shot back at him. He'll be like,
so just so much that actually happened on the 9th and 10th that came through Congress. So to go along with this large girth of a project, look at these numbers.
Girthy.
oh my.
I mean,
Oh my.
I just don't get where it's like, oh, it's okay, we'll just give more money. Let's give more money for, another, year. That's pretty much what it is, too.
My Mr. Frog, what a girthy bill this is.
Rural development programs. I mean, there's just so much in this. Who do you think actually read this? Do you think somebody actually has a staff large enough where they could have broke this 2,741 pages down?
I mean, I know that Jim
Each of you
Jordan,
read,
Thomas
50
Massey,
pages.
and Marjorie Taylor Greene try their best, but not sure if they can get all through it themselves either.
You have to really be
I know
a
Rand Paul tries.
strong reader, be able to actually read through and be able to decipher everything that's actually being, because it's just, in addition to the cost of discrete loans and grants, including the cost of modifying loans and defined in the Section 502 of the Congressional Budget Act of 1974. Who knows what this Congressional Budget Act of 1974 is?
Doesn't everybody?
You know what that is? You know what the Congressional Budget Act of 1974 is?
I mean, that's what they assume,
Yeah,
right? Like everybody knows.
You read about it, ask my balls.
What?
What?
You had to run to me while I was watching Ouch My Balls.
Okay, now he sounds like, what the hell?
Now I got Russian bots. Awesome.
How do you know they're Russian? They don't have Russian names today. It's the
His
same.
name-
It's the same.
That's true. Now
message.
George Hill- Is that all it was? They just had to shut down Russia, so now all the Russian names are gone, and it's just English bots now?
Dude, I was trying to watch a Patrick Lancaster video, and I think he was speaking in Russian, and normally it translates it when you do the closed captioning, and it didn't translate it the last video. So I'm wondering if they're going to start cracking down and they're going to maybe try to take him off, or maybe not allow the translation to come across this, the closed captioning for his stuff. I have to go back to his other videos and see if they'll do that. But the last one that I watched, it didn't. He was speaking Russian, and it didn't come across the translation, the closed captioning. So, but anywho's, that's kind of a different topic.
I mean, I'm even having problems scrolling through. I'm at page 63 right now. That's what I'm. This is what I'm saying is ridiculous. For them to pass a bill that's so huge that nobody even had a chance to even read, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, it's gonna be okay. We'll just push this through. Nobody needs to read.
It's gonna be okay."
We're the government. We're here to, assist you and help you with your life.
Hi, I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
For necessary
shit.
services, food nutrition services, child nutrition programs, including transfers of funds for necessary expenses to carry out the Richard B. Russell National School Lunch Act, except Section 21 of the Child Nutrition Act of 1966, except Sections 17 and 21. Look at 26,883,922,000 to remaining available through September 30th, 2023, of which sums are made available under this section of the Food and Conservation and Energy Acts of 2008. To just put this money right here. Make it
Yeah, I'll do that.
Make it available until September 30th, 2023. So then in September of 2023, this act, this Richard B. Russell National School Lunch Act, will be brought up again and re-added to another bill somewhere, and nobody will know. Nobody will read this and actually say,
know.
oh, hey, wait a minute. I remember that.
Remember?
There you go, Frogman.
What is this?
Imagine a future. The freight trucks that deliver bread and milk to our grocery store shelves, and the buses that take children to school and parents to work. Imagine all the heavy-duty vehicles that keep our supply lines strong and allow our economy to grow. Imagine. Well, you all imagined it. That's why we're here today.
As we all know, elections matter. And when folks vote, they order what they want, and in this case, they got what they asked for.
Yep. You're so smart, why don't you know that? Motherfucker. The Secretary of Defense. And Fun Bags over there is the Attorney General.
And that's Secretary of Education.
It's kind of stupid.
That's what I was working on.
That's what Grimspar did in the last
hour.
45 minutes or so, yeah.
Oh, we have another individual here in the chat. That's probably not individual, but a bot.
Somebody take care of my bots.
Vom Red. Mammy Robinson? What?
Somebody flip them off.
That's Marnie.
Is that what it says? No, it's M-A-M.
It's his mammy.
That is Mammy Robinson. What the fuck?
Go zap mammy for me.
Go zap.
Right there. Take care of George.
Koolfrogg's like, go zap that.
I'm trying to scroll through these 2,741 pages so that people can actually, read them if they don't have a way to actually.
Oh my God, you're going to sit here and scroll through 2,747 pages?
Yeah, I'm at 88 right now.
Holy hell.
That's what I'm saying. And they expect people to actually read this. We expect people to actually have had read this before they passed it through as a bill. This is what was pushed through. This is what was pushed through all the way through to the president to be signed. And ain't nobody have a chance to read all that. No way. They just said, well, here, as long as I get what I want, everything's good. Shit. I mean, I can stop, I guess. I'm at page 112 now.
Yes, I'm about ready to take that paper, print it out, and then strangle myself with it. Like hang myself from a balcony somewhere with the paper.
Okay, so
Like,
we'll see if we can't get Grimsbar's thoughts on this next thing here or whatever. So there's some other stuff that had also occurred all at the same time. About a dozen other bills were either partially pushed through the House, pushed through the Senate, or verbiage isn't correct for them to actually become a bill yet. It's just one side or the other. When they become bills or whatever, or actual bills, because then they call them acts or whatever. They actually, this HR 6968. I'm going to share a couple screens here real quick before I go too far here. So then here's this one. This is the one that this is straight from Congress.gov. Here's HR 6968. It's House resolution. So here it is. It's passed through the House. It's not quite through the Senate to even get to the president quite yet. So it's not completely exactly law yet. But this is the suspending energy imports from Russia. This is also, something that's been, you can see here, last action was on the 9th.
The AKA the let's spike your gas prices bill.
Mm-hmm. So then, let's stop sharing that screen, and we'll share this one. Why does it say there's two of them? This one. So there's a Suspending Energy Imports from Russia Act in straight literature. So myself and Grimsbar kind of went through this yesterday a little bit. He went through it a little bit more than I did. He actually did the reading while I was at work and actually kind of talked through it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right. This one has been gutted and reset with so much shit.
So what they're doing is they're changing verbiage in the National Defense Authorization Act with this, right? So it's not an actual act in and of itself. They are modifying the NDAA, and in that they change like some verbiage. So instead of being like human rights violations, they changed it to I think it said severe human rights violations for foreigners. Right. So basically, we're allowing human rights violations. So yeah, basically, we added a qualifier so that we could work with countries who do human rights violations. It's really weird, but you have to look at the actual verbiage, right, and what kind of wiggle room it implies, and it's just a big mess. But anyway, I am gonna bounce, Frogman. I appreciate you guys having me on, but I'm gonna run.
Okay.
All right. Hey, thanks for having me. See you around.
All right.
Okay, later, Grim.
See you.
Okay.
And there he goes, the great Grimsbar, off to the sunset, riding into the. Okay, whatever.
Oh. That was interesting.
Were you expecting more?
Well,
I mean, God, you already had Nancy Pelosi here. Like, what the hell? What
No.
else do you want? What do you want, Koolfrogg? God.
Well, I kind of said, okay, so being that we went through the 1.5 trillion, and we kind of talked about that, there was a bunch of other stuff that actually happened on the 9th. And this one, myself and Grimsbar went through, and Grimsbar went through it a little bit more in depth. We'll see if he has anything he has interesting to say about this. and I brought up the bill. And he says, "Okay, thanks, guys. I'm gonna go." Yeah, I just was expecting, any
Well, the time,
conversation.
the time has passed.
And right, it was just, it's funny, and now we're laughing about it. We need to take and cut that out and see what he has to say when he's. Oh, sorry, I missed a question.
You probably go back and do like a whole video on it or something.
It's funny. I love it. It's the internet. That's what happens.
Welcome to the internet.
So this bill, anyway, very, very corrupt.
Very, very. Like
In general.
like it's so corrupt. It's very corrupt. It's like VURRY, like very corrupt.
Okay, so here, check this. In general, the president may impose the sanctions described in subsection B with respect to any foreign person that the president determines, based on credible information, is responsible for, complicit in, or has direct or indirectly engaged in serious human rights abuse, or as well as is a current or former government official or person acting for or on behalf of such an official who is responsible for or complicit in or has directly or indirectly engaged in a corruption including misappropriation of state assets, the exportation of private assets for personal gain, the corruption related to government contracts and extraction of natural resources, and bribery, or the transfer, facilitation of the transfer of the proceeds of corruption, or is or has been a leader or official of an entity including a government government entity that has engaged in or whose member has engaged in the activities
Or
described
whose
in
member?
whose members have engaged in
Oh, members. Oh, they
members.
have multiple members. That's
Yes,
weird.
we got multiple. Any of the
That's just
activities
weird. Hold
described
on.
in paragraph 1 and 2 during the tenure of the leader of the official or the entity whose property or interests or property are blocked pursuant to this section of the result of the activities during the tenure of the leader of the official, as materially assisted, sponsored, or provided financial, material, or technological support for or the goods and services to or in support of an activity described in paragraph 1 and 2 that is conducted by a foreign person whose property or the interests of the property are blocked pursuant to this section, or an entity including a government entity that has engaged in or whose members have engaged in the activity described in the paragraph conducted by a foreign person, or is owned or controlled by, or has acted or been purported to act for or on behalf of, directly or indirectly, a person whose property and interests in property are blocked pursuant to this section. What? What?
Well, you heard it here. You read it.
There was something, and I'm not catching the exact spot, and that's why I kind of asked Grimsbar if, because he's the one that kind of read through this particular bill a little bit closer. But there was something bill isn't huge. United States trade representatives shall use the voice of the influence of the United States of the WTO to condemn the recent aggression in Ukraine, encourage the WTO members to suspend trade concessions to the Russian Federation, and consider further steps with the view of suspend Russian Federation's participation in the WTO. Keep all your stuff, we don't want none of it. There's a particular spot that was fairly interesting when he went through this.
I think towards the bottom, consideration of certain information under number 2, it says subsection C2 of such section is amended by striking violation of human rights and inserting corruption and human rights abuses. So they want to change the words there. And then in the next one, requests by Congress, subsection D2 of such section is amended in subparagraph A, in the subparagraph heading, by striking human rights violations and inserting serious human rights abuse. And then it goes on by striking described in paragraph 2 or 1 or 2 of subsection A, the inserting described in subsection A and
okay.
inserting. Okay. And so striking a ranking member of. So yeah, I think that might be what he was referring to.
Describe this subsection. Serious human rights abuse.
Because they want to change the linguistics of violations of human rights, which is a legal term type of thing, right? To human rights violations or human rights abuse. Oh, no, excuse me. Serious human rights abuse or human rights abuse. Or abuses, corruption and human rights abuses. See how like you could say like, oh, it's an abuse to not give someone free healthcare or something, you know. Like that's abusive or something. Like, I mean, you could change that, right? But if you say, oh, they have violated their human rights. Oh, really? What human rights have they violated? Oh, wait, none? Or maybe all, right? But you see what I'm saying? Like getting rid of that in this particular bill means that they can more broaden their scope of who this would affect. Because, well, if they think that you're doing human rights abuses, right? So you're not actually violating anybody's rights, but we think it's abusive of human rights, then we'll just do it too, right? So they're just expanding on that, onto who this could apply to. So that's great.
So yeah, then when you actually scroll down through some of that or whatever, and you actually look at everything that was changed, they added a whole paragraph, but added at the end of the following a description of additional steps taken by the president through diplomacy, international engagement, and assistance of foreign and security sectors and address persistent underlying causes of serious human rights abuse and corruption in each country in which foreign persons with respect to which sanctions have been imposed under Section 1263 are located, and a description of additional steps taken by the president to ensure the pursuit of judicial accountability of appropriate jurisdictions in respect of those foreign persons subject to sanctions under Sections 1263. for serious human rights abuse and corruption. So, I mean, they're changing things, trying to change verbiage to make things sound so that they can actually, they're probably trying to do what they can to, so that they can bring up other world leaders for, violations of certain human rights or whatever. Like they're going to do something. And
well, they're the biggest human rights violators on the planet. Like.
I mean, right, exactly. And that's why it's just like they're just trying to find ways to, keep the finger from being pointed at themselves and pointed at other people.
Hi, I'm Bill Gates. I wear a pink sweater. I experiment on that little girls in India and little children in Africa. We had great success with, producing childhood death and, he's in bed with government people and all that, they do stuff. Anyways, just thought that I'd throw that out there,
Yeah, no, I get you.
Just one of the many things. And he's just one of them in the government, or that's done things with government. But anywho's,
stop sharing that. So
that's about it.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I think, so I mean, if you're not paying attention to what's going on in the government of our nation, at least get involved in, local stuff. Know what the heck is being pushed around, what kind of information is being passed along to say this is what we're going to do, this is, whatever, however.
Yeah, or else people like Nancy Pelosi will take over and, pass bills and things, which, to quote the great Emirates Jones, this freaking Nancy Pelosi, a literal witch who has like 5 Adderall a day, and before she does anything, she drinks a gallon of vodka. Like,
yeah,
she has a personal keg of vodka in her office. She
Nancy
draws
Pelosi
from.
is disgusting. And there's so many of them that are just like her, that are doing the same stuff that she is, rolling around in money and corruption and thinking that it's okay that they can get away with doing it because, we don't see what they're exactly doing because we're not paying attention to all the verbiage that's being put into all these bills that they're just pushing through. And they're like, yep, we're going to make this a law, we're going to make that a law. And people are not going to realize that we just made something the law, and they're going to go and do something stupid, and we're going to say, hey, so no, it is right here. Here's the law. We just created it last week that you can't do this particular thing. And it's like, well, thanks for deciding for us and making your thoughts our thoughts. So sick of the government the way it is. People need to wake up.
Wake up!
I gotta find a good clip of Nancy Pelosi for my intro.
Oh God, why can't I just give you the one that she freaking did that I kept sharing back a couple months ago?
Yeah, that one might work too. All right. So, again, I'm Koolfrogg. There's links down below for every single one of us. Grimsbo's links are down below. America's Shirts, his links are down below.
Oh, yes, indeed they are. You can go to americashirtsarefirst.com. That's americashirtsarefirst.com. The most base t-shirts on the planet. And get 15% off any shirt in the store by using the discount code Koolfrogg. That is 15% off any shirt in the store by using the discount code Koolfrogg.
Koolfrogg.
Bro,
You can
it's just
find me almost anywhere. Hit that link tree. If you follow me somewhere and I haven't actually commented, said anything to your comment, I apologize. There's a lot, and I'm not using every single one of them completely correct. It's like I set up the account so that way I had the account available to me if I decided that I needed to use it. I know there's a lot of stuff down there. I do check my Twitter. You can always hit up my Twitter. You can hit me on Getter. Um, that's at the Pickerel. You can almost find me everywhere else at Koolfrogg. When I say almost everywhere else, I mean almost everywhere else. If you want to help me out immediately, if you want to support me, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Koolfrogg. I know people don't want to go and do all this. I don't want to go to this place and help you out to be able to help you out.
I want to help you.
Well, if you don't want to do all that and you just want to do it right here, what you need to do is you need to tell your friends to tell their friends, and we have more friends that can actually come in here and subscribe to this channel. Give me some support that way. That way, eventually, you can super chat me. If that's what you really want to do, heck yeah, I'm game. Let's do it. But you got to invite your friends. Easiest way to do that, hit the share button, hit the like button. All your friends will be, hey, my friends watch this. Interesting. What is this? That's how it works. Go watch things, go share them, go like them.
Yeah. Oh, and you can also find me on Rumble.
That link is down below.
Yeah. And you can my lovely video on Russia Ukraine has almost 400 views. I got 10 more to go for that. I also plan on posting both of Oliver Stone's documentaries on the subject and doing another video on the subject myself.
Had 400 people watch this video for 1 second. Now make sure that you watch it for longer than a second and give them.
Oh yeah, totally. Put it on the background. Listen to it.
Right. Listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, because it's worth it if you don't know what's going on over there. There's a lot of things, and again, I'm gonna do another video.
Maybe I should practice what I'm preaching. I should maybe do the same. Go watch this video. Just we all have time to do things, and we have time to do those. Now that you watch my video, go hit the like button.
Yeah.
Go hit the like button. It says I got 2 people that actually liked it.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hit that like.
All that being said,
what is it? Lick the like button, right? Or
click the like button.
Yeah, and if that doesn't work, you can use your mouse. But I mean, if you do use a mouse, I guess
Oh man.
You could just use your tongue to like.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
If I play it soon enough, we get the whole clip as opposed to me hitting end stream and watching it. Like,
you're still live.
Yeah, we're still live. Say goodbye, everybody.
Later, peeps. Bye.